Hi lovelies! Welcome in today's episodes and thank you for tuning in. My name is Geraldine B. If you're new here, I'm a registered physician in the Philippines who now resides in Alberta, Canada. And my channel is all about parenting, health, and mindful living. And I post videos once or twice a week, Mondays or Fridays. So if you're interested to any of this topic, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's get into today's topic. But first, let's define what is a vaccine. So a vaccine stimulates your immune system to produce antibodies, exactly like it would if you were exposed to the disease. So after getting vaccinated, you develop immunity to that disease without having to get the disease first. So that means that this vaccine contains the same causative organism or the same bugs that cause the disease. For example, vaccines that we use to prevent measles is actually a virus that caused that measles itself. The same with hepatitis, the same with flu or influenza, and so on and so forth. Only that this organism is of course processed in laboratory. They either weakened or used dead or inactivated ones so that when this vaccine is injected to us, it wouldn't cause us a disease. And it will cause our body to remember that same organism so that in the future, when we are exposed to the same organisms, we won't get sick. So kasi natandaan na ng katawan natin na I've encountered these bugs before or this virus before in my body. So when I encounter the actual disease in the future, hindi na OA si immune system. Relax na siya. Hindi siya magre-react. So you won't develop that disease, that symptoms because familiarized na si immune system. So I hope that you get that part there. The common myths about vaccine. So there's actually a lot, but right now I'm going to focus on the one that is listed on the Ministry of Health in Ontario. So I will also put a link below if you want to read. So number one, some says a vaccine can cause disorders like autism. Well, the answer is no. It's a big no. So the role of vaccine is to build your kid's immune system because we have lots of vaccination happen during the same time that autism is diagnosed. So that first 1 to 3 years of life. So that's why people associate autism to vaccination. Well, it's not. So autism is a complex neurological disorder and it has nothing to do with vaccines. You might ask, where does this idea come from? The relationship of autism to vaccination. It's actually Dr. Andrew Wakefield in the UK who made this study in 1998 and published that there's a relationship between measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines to autism. And the journal reviewed this and retracted this result because there's a lot of flaws in that study and that the sample population is not that big enough. So therefore, this is not conclusive. And in 2010, the Medical Council of the United Kingdom removed his license to practice in the UK. So that's the story behind it. And the sad truth right now is that a lot of parents still believe that there's an association between autism and this vaccine, which is not true at all. Okay. Number two myth is that a few materials used in vaccines are unsafe. Well, in Canada, there is a very strict guidelines in preparation and making this vaccine. Safety tests are carried into biologic and genetic tests before handed it to the public, and there's phases of study and testing which will take us time if I'm going to discuss each of them. So some of the materials or ingredients that are added are thimerosal, formaldehyde, and aluminum. They are added to kill the bacteria to make it safe and effective. Materials or ingredients mentioned, they are occurred naturally in the environment. And the one that is added on our vaccines are very minimal. And your children, my children, are exposed to this chemicals or this substance every day, and they could actually get more of this in the environment than from getting it in the vaccine itself. So it is still beneficial to give our child this vaccine in spite of these materials, because this is just minimal and it won't give any harm at all to your child and to my child. Plus, many studies have been conducted about the safety profile of using these materials added to our vaccines, and they've proven to be safe. Plus, millions of vaccines are given every single day all around the world, and that just proves that these are safe. Number 3 is multiple injection given at the same time will overwhelm my baby's immune system. Well, the truth is, no, it doesn't. And this vaccine is designed to make our immune system stronger, not to overwhelm them. And whether you give it one vaccine at a time or 5 vaccines at the same time, the reaction is the same. And you know what? This is real talk again. I could really relate to all mothers up there. Like with my child, so we came here to Canada like when my firstborn was like 9 months, and then they have to give her extra vaccine that is not routinely given here because she was born from the third world country. So there's like, I think 5 injections at the same time. And even with the rest of my daughters, during the scheduled visit, there's just like 3 or more. And I would like, oh God, please help my child's immune system. And as a mother, I know, I feel it. We like sometimes paranoid to think about, is my child okay? But rest assured that before these vaccines were released to the public, it has been studied for years. And the benefits of having this one could still outweigh the possible risk, which is very minimal. It's not zero because there's also side effects with vaccines, and our nurse educates us every single time we visit them for vaccination, but they are minimal, rare. Remember that our immune system is very powerful. God designed it that way, that it even fights millions of germs every single day. So don't worry, your child's immune system is not overwhelmed. The vaccine empowers our immune system. 4 myths is natural immunity is better than vaccine immunity. Well, the truth is, natural infection from certain disease can seriously harm or kill your child before his or her body is able to adapt that immunity. And besides, those vaccines, as I said, that we've given to our child is killed or weakened. So that's why it couldn't harm or it couldn't give the disease to your child. So still, it's better to give that vaccine immunity beforehand, before your child is exposed to the future risk of having the actual disease, which is dangerous. So vaccines are still the best way to protect our child. And those diseases that our public health chose to protect these vaccines against are those diseases that are very risky or high risk of harming our child compared to the possible side effect of the vaccine. So, measles are still one of the leading cause of child's death globally, despite the fact that there's a cost-effective and safe vaccines out there. Just because some parents refuse to have their children vaccinated, and maybe some parts of the world, they are not reached with these vaccines for a lot of reasons, which is sad. 5, which is very specific to Canada and maybe some parts of developed countries in the world, is vaccine preventable diseases don't exist in Canada anymore, so there is no need for my child to be immunized. So here in Canada, we were able to reduce our cases and even death from these serious diseases because of wide campaign of vaccination. People in Canada or wherever you are, we still travel for whatever reasons, for mission work, for leisure, and also people are traveling to Canada. So we don't know who are we exposing ourselves in a day-to-day basis, or like exposing our children every day at school. So we need to have them fully protected and prepare them for life. And giving them full vaccination is one way of doing that, making sure that they will not develop that disease. 6 myths is many people who are immunized still get the disease, which proves that vaccines don't work. So sometimes a person who is fully vaccinated still develop the disease. And it is important to note that the vaccine doesn't cause that disease still. But you know what? Whenever that person develops that disease, it is milder compared to when he is not vaccinated. Like for example, I have my flu shot every single year because that's required because the strains every year changed, strain of the virus. So I have my flu shot every year. Not 100% that I wouldn't get flu at all. But if in case I will get flu, hindi siya malala. It is not that severe as compared to when I haven't get the vaccine. So I hope you get that. Number 7 myth is a healthy lifestyle and breastfeeding are enough to protect me and my child. Well, a healthy lifestyle is important to give you an overall good health. And breastfeeding is also very, very important to give your baby a good start. The immunity or antibody he or she gets from breast milk. But this is not enough to protect him or her from specific diseases that is protected only through vaccination. So breastfeeding reduces some infections like ear infections, respiratory infections, even the risk of asthma. But this is not enough. Again, although your children is protected by your immunity for the first 6 months. So that means that if you are breastfeeding your baby, that immunity of yours, yung antibody mo, is passed on to the child. So it helps your child also from that diseases out there. But after that first 6 months of life, your children need to develop his or her own immunity. And by giving him or her the right vaccines for specific diseases, that will help him or her protect himself or herself and build him or her immunity. So in conclusions, vaccines are safe and effective, and they are designed to protect you and your family. And remember that a healthy immune system is the key to wellness. So if you have any concerns or any issues about this, feel free to talk to your healthcare provider. They are passionate and will take time to discuss these things to you. You just have to be open-minded. Huwag kang mahiya. Share your thoughts. Let them know what you're thinking. Let them know what's in your heart, so that whatever fear, whatever hesitations that you have as a parent, it will be addressed. And that your decision today will benefit your family, your kids in the future. So I hope that you have learned something today, and share this video to your friends so everyone will benefit from learning this one. Until my next video, remember to stay happy and healthy. Bye!